Good. Hey guys, so we're out here on the range today shooting some myths down about AKs. So the first one is that there's all kinds of old stories about old AKs that wound up sitting in the dirt or the muck or in rice paddies in Vietnam, and they were all blowed out and all rusted up, and they caused all kinds of issues, but the guys could still shoot them and they were actually still combat effective. Well, unfortunately today I have an original Norinco Mac 90 from about the mid 90s, but if we look at the front end, it appears that this thing was set in what would be the equivalent of a rice field. In fact, the hand guards are gone. You probably noticed that because the previous owner probably just let it sit, and it sat in water for a long time. Interesting facts. If we look at this side, it looks like there was actually scale on this when I got it, and it looks like if we look in here, this is not necessarily structural to the gun, but the barrel is, and it actually has some severe pitting, but it just stops right about here. And if we look underneath, the hand guards and everything are perfect, and then if we look at the receiver, everything's fine. So this presents a unique opportunity for us to take a look at something today historically interesting. Another thing I want you to make note of is the crown. There should be absolutely no reason this thing even shoots at this point. However, interesting facts, I took it out, took all the rust off and cleaned it up, and the bore is still fine. So the myth of chrome lined bores being fine is still a completely thing. So today we want to do a couple things. Number one, would an AK in this condition with that kind of pitting on it still be safe? So if we look at here, you've got some serious pitting going on. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run 5 rounds through it and see if it actually will let go. So I'm going to have everybody step back. I'm going to step way off the gun. I'm going to sit it down over here and actually shoot 5 rounds out of it and see if we have any issues. My guess is everything's going to be fine, or else I wouldn't do this. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so I've got it loaded up with original 5-round mag. This is what it had in it. We're going to go ahead and charge it. It picked up a round, so here we go. I'm going to actually just point it in a safe direction. First one didn't let go, but it appears that we do have a malfunction. I think that might be related to the magazine. This magazine sat with the gun in the rice field probably, so we'll give it another try here. Okay, so the gun did fire. It doesn't look like any of the thing is any of the worse for wear. It did function, it did fire. If we get over here in the light on the crown, you can actually see how bad the damage on the crown is. That barrel's just eating away up in here. But it fired fine. So I guess we're going to move on to phase 2, because if it fired 5 times, it didn't let go, it's probably not going to fire. If you fire as many times as you want, it's probably not going to let go. So we're going to move on to something else. So the next thing is that there's lots of stories out there, and several old documentaries and things that I've read that said when they would stash these weapons in the Vietnam era, it would be actually probably something right out of the same factory, 386 in China, which is where a lot of the AKs in Russia, they say, or in Vietnam, came from. What they said is during the Tet Offensive, they had stashed several of these AKs in a rice field, pulled them out, and they looked like this, and then they realized that the stocks were completely wore off and gone because termites got to them. So it literally had no wood on it, but the VC soldiers simply wrapped rags around things and actually still ran them. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to test that theory and see, number one, can you actually hit anything with just a rag wrapped around where the actual handguard would be. So we're making a little rat rotted looking thing. And number two, could you actually shoot it this way and will your hand like burn up or something? So I'm going to put a couple of layers on here. I don't know that I'll get that good of a sight picture, but I'm actually going to try to shoot this thing using nothing but the original Viet Cong rag method here and see if we can get anything out of it. Sights suck. Well, it works. Okay, so as you can see, I did my little Viet Cong type wrap on there. I threw some gloves on because it's kind of cold today, so that's not historically accurate, but basically it's a piece of t-shirt wrapped around the barrel, between the barrel and the hand guard, where the gas tube would be. The stock was literally eaten away on this gun completely, so as you can see, it's held up fine. There's no issues. I'm not finding any bulges. I looked really close. There's nothing on there that's indicating that there's anything more than just a couple of thousandths of wear off the barrel and off the crown. I don't imagine it's shooting very straight, but it's not doing anything dangerous. So my next question is, with a gun like this, could you actually use it realistically? So I've actually taken and took a whole bunch of rag off of there, so that way you could just get down on it. I'm going to actually try to use the sights. I've got it set for the 100-yard Combat Zero. I'm just going to have it set there. And I'm going to try to do some kind of moving and shooting and get through this magazine and see how it actually shoots, like in a realistic kind of, or semi-realistic type of movement and that sort of thing. So that's what we got coming up. Chambered around just fine, so here we go. Well, boys, realistically, it wasn't that uncomfortable or anything. So, in a pinch, if you're missing hand guards or your fancy mag pulls got thrown in the trash or something, t-shirt does work. I don't know that I'd run 200 rounds through it, but there it is, boys. So I guess the next thing we need to see is how much does crowning actually affect accuracy? And number two, if they had a rifle with the front end in this condition, could they actually hit anything they were aiming at? Because I haven't really tried that yet. So out yonder, I got a silhouette target at 50 yards, roughly. And I'm thinking 50 yards for city fighting during the Tet Offensive or during times like that, or jungle fighting, is actually, you know, not out of the realm of possibilities at all. Most of the time, honestly, closer than that before you put rounds on target. So we're going to take our beater AK here with the crown that literally looks like half the barrel's melted off. And we're going to get, I got a 30 round mag loaded up, and I'm actually going to try to take some hits here and see if I can actually make some hits with this thing and see if you can actually hit anything with it in this condition. I don't know, the sights on this thing are pushed over and high, so I don't know if the original owner had them that way, if it came from the factory that way, no idea. I have not tried to get a good sight picture and like try this for accuracy. So whatever we get, you're going to learn with me because I haven't tried this beforehand. So here we go. Well, okay, let's try it offhand. Now wouldn't have called that one. I would not have called that one. Wow. Okay, so much for your target crown theory. Okay, because the crown on this thing, there isn't one. And it's still putting rounds on target. Down the GI goes. So I'm going to run the rest out there at 100. A couple of blocks of wood out there and some other things that I didn't set a target up. I didn't think this was going to work actually, so we'll give it a try. So again, I don't know if we can see it on camera. If not, I'll roll some pictures in. That's what the front end of this thing looks like. And I'm still able to make hits with it. I had gloves on, but running 30 rounds out, it's getting a little warm to the touch. It's not bad. I can still hold it with my bare hand. This part is probably, I wouldn't want to grab the barrel right now because I was shooting pretty quick. But, wow. Wow. That's actually kind of impressive. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. So, all right. So, if you like this kind of stuff, I don't care. If you want to subscribe, I don't care, because I don't do any of this for you. I do it for me. Thanks.